welcome to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Jeanette, and I'm joined by Shelby.
Hi.
Amanda.
Hello.
Eve.
Hi.
And Tiffany.
Hello.
In this episode, we're going to be discussing One Tree Hill and our top 10 favorite Nathan Scott moments.
Woohoo!
Yay.
So who wants to kick us off?
Shelby does.
You're up, Shelby.
Okay. So I'm just going to start off by saying that I put up my top 10 ones, but I cannot rank them. So
I did the same thing.
Yeah, that's how mine are too.
I semi-ranked mine, but y'all know I joined this podcast idea late, so I made mine like an hour ago, and I had to try to put them in some order. So
Mine are all in order. I got mine.
I couldn't put them in an order. So
And I got an honorable mentions.
number 10, I have Chris Keller in all capital letters because all of his little interactions with Chris Keller just crack me up. And I love how protective over Haley he is. And he punched that one episode, he punched Chris in the face like 3 different times because of like stuff he was saying about Haley.
Mm-hmm. Chris gets punched a lot.
The dude just doesn't learn. That's why he gets punched all the time.
He deserves it every time.
He deserves it most of the time.
Can we just do one podcast just based on Chris Keller?
Yes, please.
I think
I could talk about him for an hour.
I love Chris.
Dan.
Me too.
I love him.
I mean, I was mad at first, but
oh yeah, but I still love
me.
him. I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
I think in the Honey Grove prom, that's when I kind of started feeling bad for him.
Yeah.
Whenever he sat up all night and cried to Brooke.
Yeah.
That's when I started loving him. But anyways, back to Nathan.
I did like when Nathan asked him to work with Haley, though. That was kind of a nice moment for Nathan after everything that Chris put them through, and he still asked him to work with her.
Yeah.
That was a lot of growth on Nathan's side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My number 4 is a specific Nathan and Chris Keller moment.
I've got 2 specific.
So should I
Chris
save
moments.
it? Or should we say them now since you said
Go ahead and save it.
Yeah, we'll save
Okay.
them.
I'm gonna save
I bet
them.
our 2 are probably, I bet it's one of the same ones I have. So we'll save them.
All right.
What's your number 10, Amanda?
My number 10. Oh, when Lucas and Nathan got kidnapped. Not kidnapped. Yeah, kind of kidnapped.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah.
Kind of kidnapped. Not like season, what is it, 9, 10?
Yeah, no, not that kind of kidnapping, right?
Yeah, not that kind.
The hazy kind.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite part is when they're walking through that gas station in their underwear. The Raven sucks on their backs.
Yeah.
Just that every time I see that scene.
Oh yeah.
And I like that because you also kind of see their growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they still don't like each other at this point.
No.
But
they work together. That was like kind of one of the first kind of moments where they actually work together, and
oh yeah.
That's why it's one of my favorites. It's because I love watching them grow into being brothers.
I agree. And Maureen's asking how one kind of gets kidnapped, so we'll explain it to her. It's the team that they played. Like they play like this rival team, and so afterwards they convince them to like get in their car. I can't remember why they get them in the car, but they
got kicked off of the bus. They were causing problems.
Oh yeah, because they were causing
picked them off the bus. Yeah.
So they were walking, and the other team rolled up on them and yanked him into the car.
But then they make them do like some crazy stuff, like so.
Yeah, but they had to fight each other. They had to
Mhm.
steal from the gas station.
Yeah.
Was that it?
And then it's funny when they get stuck because they pretend like they throw the keys out into the woods and he didn't throw them at all. Like, and those guys are out there looking for them.
Yes, all in their underwear. Or most of it.
The 2 that got kidnapped, Lucas and Nathan, they made them strip down to their underwear and
don't they make them? They're like returning something, or no? I'm thinking of something different. But yeah, they make them strip down to their underwear. Yeah,
They look good in their underwear too.
They do. So No
It
complaining.
wasn't a bad scene to watch. I mean,
Right. Speaking of underwear, I can go ahead and talk about my number 10 because it kind of relates. So my number 10 is just the boy toy auction. Because, and for no reason other than the fact that Nathan is shirtless and dancing with boy toy written across his chest. I figured that had to get put in there
It's my
for
number
that
8.
reason alone. Yeah.
It's my number 8. I love that scene, but I like him and Peyton kind of interaction that whole night.
Yeah, it's nice.
So that's why it
to
was my
see
number
him.
8.
Yeah, to see him not be a jerk to her, because I mean we'd only seen him be a jerk to her up until that point. So
they were jerks to each other, though.
Oh yeah,
honest.
They were.
oh definitely.
All right,
So
Eve, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is probably one of my favorite Nathan lines. It's the Nathan Scott apology tour. So it was in season 4. I think they had a party at Deb's house because she was just getting out of rehab and they wanted to get rid of all the alcohol.
Yep.
And lo and behold, good old Tim finds, we should do an episode on him too.
Yeah, Tim.
Good old Tim finds an old video of Brooke and Nathan in a interesting compromising position.
Yeah.
And so Nathan wanders around town apologizing to Peyton and to Brooke and to Lucas. And when he gets to Lucas's house, he says, "You're my next stop on the Nathan Scott apology tour." To which Lucas says, "It's okay. I already knew you were an ass back then."
I love it.
Yes.
For some reason, it's like the line, one of those lines of Nathan's that just sticks in my brain.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In the meantime, Haley, I think, was also super pregnant at that point, and she was asking him to make a list of all the girls he'd slept with. And then he did and said, "No, I didn't want you to do that." He was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was like, this poor guy.
Poor Nathan.
He's just trying to be a good husband, do what his wife wants.
So funny.
Oh gosh. That was a good one. That was not on my list. That was a good one.
No, it wasn't on mine either, but I love it.
All right.
What about you, Tiffany?
My number 10 was when he turned down Rachel when she said, like if she said if Haley wasn't pregnant, would I still have a chance or would I still have a shot? And he said not a chance.
I
really like
that
that.
the other night. That's a good one.
I almost put that on my list. It was close. He's just so faithful to her. I love it. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Considering where he started, I mean, it's just such a huge turnaround.
They're my favorite love story.
It's pretty awesome.
I love them too so much. Shelby, what is your number 9?
Number 9, I have high flyers. So when he got the letter, well, he let Haley go on tour, if I remember right, and then Haley was saying how like he didn't have to give up anything for her or whatever, and then he was like, well, if you believe that, then go look in the top drawer of my dresser, and then she finds the high flyers letter, and he had given up that for her, basically.
Yep.
I have a lot of Haley moments on mine. Well,
yeah,
Nate and Haley moments on mine.
I mean, they kind of go hand in hand.
I mean, they're two.
It's kind of hard to have just Nathan moments with not Haley in them.
Yeah, because from the jump, they were like inseparable.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Me.
Oh, season 3, when he wore Lucas's jersey number.
Yeah.
The game. When he walked down, he was wearing the number 3.
I forgot about that one.
Well, it already had his name on it, so
Yeah,
exactly.
It's true.
It worked out.
It just wasn't blacked out.
Yeah.
Or anymore.
Yeah. And I can't remember. Forgive me, because we know I watched the later seasons. Why? I can't remember why exactly he did it though. Like
He got injured. He bled through his shirt, I think.
Okay.
I think you're right.
Maybe.
That's all what I don't remember. So
Right.
my number 9.
You're number 9.
My number 9 is when when Lucas and Nathan and the rest of the team pull up, and it's the day of the school shooting, and we find out that Haley is still inside the building, and Nathan, like without a second thought, just takes off running back in there, even though everyone's telling him not to. And even when Lucas tries to stop him, he's just like, Haley's in there. And I mean, he's like, I'm going in regardless. And I love that because they were just, I mean, I know they were back together, but they weren't, I still don't feel like they were like fully back on good terms yet. And so just the fact that he was just willing to risk it all to run back in after her. I love
That's my number 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have
Shelby?
that as number 5. And the one thing I wanted to mention too was the fact that no one wanted to let Nathan in because they thought the shooter ended up being in there, but they didn't think that he was in there. And the way that Haley like knew that it was him was by saying like their, I guess, catchphrase, love phrase.
Always and forever. Yeah.
Oh,
I love that.
love it.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I think only the originals in here.
I know. But see, it is Nathan and Haley's first. But
It was.
I do have to admit that I kind of think of the Michaelsons when I hear Always and
I
Forever.
do too.
So.
It was more prominent, I feel
Well,
like.
I mean, they
originals.
were like for real, like forever. So I feel like it it kind of means a little more when you
They're a few
lived
thousand years old, whatever.
You know, yeah.
Old are they? They're like 1,000 and some, aren't they?
Yeah. Something like that.
1,000?
Well, they're the original vampires.
They're the originals.
So they're
So
super
very
old.
first.
So yeah, they're super duper old. Don't worry, Jeanette's in love with one of them. Oof. She likes the older men though.
I mean, this is really stretching it on the older men too. What can I
Okay.
say? All right, back on topic.
Eve? Are we to Eve?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Number 9.
My number 9. And I believe this quote was said twice during the series. And it was like, one day you're 17 planning for someday, and then some days yesterday, or some days today, and then some days today.
Yeah.
And this is your life.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do
like
say
that
it
too.
twice because I know they say it
I do
again
too.
at the.
He says it in the series finale,
Mhm.
definitely. I can't remember when else he says it, but I knew he said it another time before
I was
that.
actually thinking it's when he makes that shot that's behind your head,
Oh,
but maybe I'm wrong
that makes sense.
because I feel like, or at least in the series finale, I feel like that's the moment that it flashes back to when they're watching Jamie in the game. It flashes back to him doing that shot, and then it flashes to him in the stands, I think. And
What
I think
the
is when they're
line?
saying that
You
again.
can tell us.
The thing where he's saying like what is it? Something about like,
One day you're 17 and planning for someday.
and then someday is today or something like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna Google it.
Amanda's
Tiffany?
on Wikipedia.
You want to tell us your number 9?
Oh, I had when he was comforting Jamie after Q dies. I really like their little father-son bonding moment after that.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was really hard to get through in that series.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing is just awful.
I'm still not over it.
It's a pretty, I mean, that one's tough.
Every single time I tell him, don't go into the gas station. He just
I
doesn't
know.
listen.
Gosh. Yeah.
Okay, so Nathan only said it one time. Brooke said it one time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
They
then.
do that. They do that a lot, where different characters will say the
Mhm.
exact
Yeah.
same line, like seasons apart.
So that's what it was. Nathan said it one time, Brooke said it another time.
Okay. Cool. Shelby, what's your number 8?
I guess wanting to go with Haley on tour
Mhm.
when I just watched a clip of it on YouTube to refresh my memory earlier, so like forgive me if I don't get it completely correct. But basically, like, he's talking about Haley's like swearing up and down that she doesn't like Chris, whatever. And Nathan said, well, if you don't like Chris, then why don't you ask me to come along on tour with you?
Mhm.
And Haley's like in shock, and then she doesn't really say anything. And then like I don't remember what happens after that because it wasn't in the YouTube video, but it kind of like showed his loyalty to her, whereas she was kind of like iffy in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. I didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 8 was the boy toy night. So I'll just give you guys an honorable mention of mine.
Okay.
And this one's just like one moment. And it's when they're at the Honeygrove prom and Haley comes out in her thrift store prom dress and big fur coat. And the way Nathan just looks at her like she's the most beautiful thing in the world. And he just says, I just love you so much. That part, just melt me.
Yeah. I need to rewatch. If you know what, maybe I just need to go watch the Honey Grove episode because I love that episode and I rarely make
so
it there.
good.
So I think I'm just going to watch that tomorrow. Just that one episode.
Yeah. I watched it the other day.
That
When I
was
was
just
trying to
so
make
fun.
this list,
Yeah.
I was like, let me just throw some One Tree Hill on and like, jog my memory here.
Yeah. That's fun. I love that one.
What was your number 8?
My number 8 is when he visits Lucas in the hospital after Lucas is in that accident. Because I think, they didn't like each other at this point. So him going there is just, it's a big like step in him becoming the person that we see later on in the season and stuff. And so it was our first.
That was my number 2.
Yeah. I think it's one of the first like brother bonding moments. So
yeah, I think so.
I remember when I watched that for the first time and this sounds really stupid, but when Nathan helped Lucas drink out of his cup, like when Nathan like held it up to his mouth and helped him drink, I remember I cried.
Yeah. Well, it's sweet, especially just how much they disliked each other. I don't know. It's just a nice
They still
moment.
had that bond.
Yeah.
That brother bond.
Yeah. They only hated each other because of Dan. Because Dan, filled his mind with all kinds of weird thoughts about Lucas. Yeah.
We could do a whole other episode about Dan and Nathan, their father relationship. That would be fun.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Lots to unpack there.
Yeah.
I don't think we're good enough therapists for that. We'd have to break down a lot of stuff.
Is anyone qualified for that one?
We could try to talk Lizzie into joining the group.
Right. Oh, my cousin's a therapist. She's not in our One Tree Hill group. She can't help.
Whose turn is it?
I think me.
Eve.
Mhm.
And again with the quotes, that's what came to mind when I was doing this.
Mhm.
But my number 8 is, don't say I never gave you anything.
Oh.
And then he says it again in the series finale. It's like, don't say you never gave me anything because you've given me everything.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
It's like, they're just too much.
Yeah. The first time he says it with the bracelet is my number 1 Nathan moment. Because it's just so sweet. And I think it catches her off guard
And
too.
and she still wasn't all about him yet. Like she was still like annoyed by him at that point. She's like, are you serious? You're giving me this?
Yeah. But I love
that
how
was my number 1 too.
Yeah. I just love how the bracelet and it like stays with like the whole series, that it comes back over and over again. It made me wish somebody would give me a Cracker Jack bracelet. Fun story though, because I don't know if you all know this, but I've been to Wilmington and done the whole like One Tree Hill tour of all the sites or whatever. And I have a picture. I made David sit with me at that same little bench where he gives her the bracelet and take a picture.
Aww.
I know.
And
that was a really fun tour.
I need to speak to your husband then. That would have been the time to give you the damn Cracker Jack box ring.
Well, it is, but it's fine.
I just gotta have
He
to
took
piggyback.
me there. He took me there. So and I was 5 months pregnant. He dealt with me like walking around to see
Ugh.
everything. So good enough. Good enough.
That sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun actually. I'd love to go back.
I'd like to go see that. That'd be fun to see too. I got to go to Covington too.
I need to go. I've already told him that Covington's like we need to take a trip sometime soon. So
Yeah, we need to go to Covington.
yeah, especially I mean it's Sweet Magnolia stuff too now. So we can
Ooh, it
visit
is,
the
isn't
Mystic
it?
Grill and Sullivan's, same place. Mhm.
Yes, I forgot about
I
that.
know.
Ooh, okay.
Adding stuff to your list, Amanda?
Thinking it's a long drive for me.
It's like 8 hours for me. So I mean it's still pretty long. Yeah.
More for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, number 8.
Oh, when he doesn't throw the game for Dante.
Oh,
I love that.
Yes, that was one of my favorite moments where he finally, in his
I
head,
mean,
don't
yeah.
do this.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I mean it shows
love
true
that.
character. I mean, because he had a lot, right? I mean, a lot to risk there. And I mean, unfortunately, a lot of bad stuff happened because of it, but it was still the right thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I was really thinking he was going to throw it.
Yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
a
I think
nice
probably
surprise.
most people probably would. I mean, especially like with everything that's riding on it, to be honest. I mean, it takes a lot of like moral character to not. I mean, he should have never done it in the first place, but I mean,
He was trying to correct his wrong, so that was.
I know.
that was
Yeah.
nice.
And that's like when we saw a little bit of good in Dan,
Yeah.
which I don't feel like we get to see too
No.
often.
Yeah.
No. We got to hang on to those moments because they don't come
We do.
around very often. They're very rare.
Write that down.
Right. Oh.
Shelby, number 7.
Punching Dan in the face over Haley. Nathan punches a lot of people. But
I was about to say which time.
I think Nathan punched
referring
quite a
to-
few people in the face over
He's
Haley.
punched Dan a few times.
Yeah. We don't condone violence, but Nathan does look pretty good doing it
Mhm.
most of the time. So
He could punch Dan anytime. That's fine.
Dan
Sorry,
and Chris
Paul.
Keller,
I like
they
Paul.
deserve it. They deserve it. I even like Dan, but he deserves it for sure.
I'm sure Paul would say that Dan deserves it too. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel too bad. Sorry.
No.
But I'm referring to the time when it was after Nathan and Haley first got married, and him and Dan and Deb were like fighting basically. And Dan said something about Haley. I forget what it was. And Nathan's like, "That's my wife." And then Dan kept running his mouth like Dan always does. And Nathan just like decked him. And then Lucas pulled him away.
I remember that. Was that the time that Lucas was living there?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
Because
Yeah.
Lucas decided that he didn't want to be with Karen anymore or something like that.
Oh yeah. No, he was trying to
He
get like
was-
closer to Dan.
He was
Yeah.
trying to. He was working with Andy to get
Bring
some
Dan down.
information on him. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I do think he was fighting with Karen at the time too, but I think the main motivation was
I think
trying
he
to get
kind
information.
of.
He kind of
I-
like made a fight with
Yeah,
Karen
exactly.
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
like I guess ease the blow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
but
make it
then
more
Lucas
believable.
pulled- yeah. And then Lucas pulled Nathan away from him.
That's a good
Should have
one.
just let him go, man.
I know. Bad mistake, Lucas.
He pulled him away for Nathan's benefit though, not for Dan's.
Yeah, because if
Yeah,
Dan
I think Nathan probably would have went crazy on him.
Yeah. Amanda, how about you? What's your number 7?
My number 7. Oh, okay. Mine's kind of like 2 moments. And I'm gonna take both moments because I can.
Cheater.
Go for it.
When he asks Haley to marry him,
Both times.
both times, because I
There you
can't
go.
when I like better. And I tried. I even watched both of them to kind of see which way my heart would kind of go towards. And I don't know.
I think I like the second one.
Together is so innocent and sweet.
Yeah.
And they're out on that dock. It's just so
Well,
beautiful. And
he put so much effort into that second one by getting the
I know.
ring and like
The
so he could
ring.
use it. And she's like panicked because she thinks she's lost her wedding ring. And I mean, I love that. That's another one of my favorite episodes. I
That's
need to
one of my
jot
favorite
down
episodes,
all
too.
my favorite episodes and just watch those and skip
I
around.
think
That would
Brooke was the MVP of that episode. She just
Ugh.
spilled, I think she just spilled her whatever she was drinking. She just spilled her drink all over Haley.
yeah.
She's
I
like, I
love
have
that
one
for-
more idea, but it's not very subtle. I was like, wow, that was subtle like a sledgehammer.
It worked.
It's
This
the
is so
Brooke
awesome.
way. So
My number 7 is when Nathan jumps into the river after the limo goes off the bridge. to
mine
save
too.
Cooper.
That's
Mine
Your
too.
number 7?
yeah.
Or not my number 7. I just said that, but
I knew
But I
somebody
love-
would put it in here, so I didn't even put it on my list.
It's I mean he just the way he looks at Haley and she knows that he's about to jump in, and it's just I don't know, again showing his character and his heroics and just how good of a person he is.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Again, the bracelet.
The bracelet comes back.
Yeah, I have that on my list too. It's number 3.
I mean that has to be on everybody's list, so
It was on the list in my head, but I just didn't put it
yeah,
for the fact that I just knew it was going to be on everybody
else's right.
It's a good moment.
Yeah.
It's one of the best moments.
It is.
All right, Eve, what was your number? Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do have several honorable mentions. And I just thought about this one a few minutes ago. It was back when with the whole Renee scandal and Mouth was basically facing having to put the story out or lose his job. And Nathan kind of caught on to that and he said, hey, if it comes down to it, do the story, like do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, never in a million, like season 1 Nathan, never in a million years would he have told anyone to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, he was just, I do love that Mouth didn't do it
Yeah.
because of how good of a friend he is, to not
Mm-hmm.
go down that road.
But the fact that Nathan cared so much
Mhm.
about Mouth's career in the midst of all of this like wackadoo stuff going on
Yeah.
was pretty incredible.
Definitely. Tiffany, what's your number? Are we on 7? Yeah.
7.
We already did my number 7, so I'd like all the Nathan and Haley kissing in the rain moments. They're just so sweet. I mean, if you've ever actually stood in the rain and kissed, it's really not fun, but it's fun to watch on screen.
Not nearly as romantic as they like to portray it.
No, not quite.
No.
And they had so many of them.
They did.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized it until I saw like a collage of their kissing in the rain moments. I was like, geez.
Yeah. One of theirs, I mean, both of those are on my list separately. And one of theirs, I mean, it's like torrential rain. Like it's not even like just a light summer sprinkle. It's like a hurricane coming,
Like a
so
terrible storm.
it's not, I don't know.
And Tree Hill gets a lot of bad storms. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, they're right on the water. So, I mean, it makes sense.
You need to send the storms out west.
We get them up plenty.
They need to put out all their fires.
I'll talk about mine when we get there because I have them both on
save
there.
yours.
I'll save them.
All right.
Shelby?
Number 6.
I
Laughing.
had standing up to Deb after they got married.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Different
she made me
scene
so
than when he
mad.
punched Dan. Mm-hmm.
That was one of
But
my,
like, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I mean, that moment was probably my least, I mean, the moment I hated Deb the most. I mean, I just couldn't believe, I feel like it was really
She
out of
was very
character for
mean.
her at that
Yes.
point in time. She was so supportive and just the total opposite of Dan, and then all of a sudden they're kind of on the same side. It was weird, I think.
Yeah.
I think at that point too, she was still reeling from the emancipation and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
think,
maybe.
and I think seeing that Haley's parents were so on board with this, it just kind of like flipped the switch in her brain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I understand. I mean, I'm a mom, and if one of my kids tried to tell me at 16 they wanted to get married, I would probably flip out as well. So, I mean, I do understand that, but I don't know. There was a different way to go about it, I think.
I do too. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I don't. I did.
Yeah.
It was just out of character for her.
It felt weird. Yeah.
It did. The whole thing, I was uncomfortable and I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like it when Nathan did stand up to her.
Yeah.
Defend Haley like he always does, like a good man.
I love it. So I agree with that.
All right,
What
my
about
6. Oh, when he shows up to Jamie's school in the cape.
yes.
Yes.
I almost put that on my list, but I figured everybody else would, so I left it off.
I'm just surprised I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, me too.
No, I don't really have that much to say about it, but
It was just sweet. I mean,
it was so sweet. And that was that right after Q died? Right?
I
was
don't
it
think
before?
so.
I don't think Q had died yet. I think it was right. I mean, right before, maybe even, wasn't it?
I feel like he kept the cape on
because he put the
after-
cape on. Yeah, because he put the cape on his coffin.
Yeah. He made
So
the
it would've-
cape that he made for Q.
Yeah, I don't know when it was. I
It was
can't
either
remember
it was
exactly.
around the time.
It was around the same time for sure.
Yeah. I can't remember if that was before or after.
Yeah. But
I
it's
haven't
just
gotten there yet in my rewatch.
I love like father Nathan moments because I mean
Mhm.
just the role model that he had. It's just amazing of how great of a dad he. I mean, like especially since you didn't have anybody to teach you to be a good father
dad.
figure. Mm-hmm.
I have a few dad moments towards the top of my list.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the capes,
Yes.
the like Jamie was getting bullied and stuff, and then Nathan made all the capes with Q, and then Q died like the day that Jamie took them to school or something like that, and like Q
Okay.
hadn't gotten his cape yet because Nathan hadn't made it yet. So then at the funeral, whenever that was, they put one on top of his casket, and then Q's brother also got a cape,
Okay.
if I remember right. Because that was one scene that like really stuck out to me because I bawled during that one too.
Yeah.
I cried the whole way through Q's. That death, I don't know, that death hit me harder than most of my TV deaths.
Yeah.
That one was just
was awful.
complete. I did not see it coming. That's why.
Yeah. It was definitely a surprise.
Like in Grace, we expect everybody to die. That's
Right.
you don't get too attached.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with that after Keith.
Yeah. I agree. It was rough.
All
All right. So my number 6 is it's one of the Chris Keller moments. It's when Chris and him go to the gambling boat to like get back Haley's demo.
That's my number 4.
Well, and I love it because I mean, I knew there was probably one of the same. I mean, just because of how much he hates him. So like I love the fact that he goes there to do that for Haley, spending time with Chris, somebody he hates. And I also just, even though they hate each other, I really love Chris and Nathan together because it's always like the best banter and it's so funny. I mean, that whole episode is just hilarious. Like when he tosses his like guitar just in the river, like just out of like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, it was so, I love it. That's one of my favorite ones too.
Yep.
Yeah, they are really funny together.
Yeah. And then there's somewhere in that episode where he doesn't punch him there, I don't think, but like Chris is afraid he's gonna like punch him again, or I don't know. I feel like there's I love them so much.
I think they get along. That's the episode that Chris pawns his guitar for
Yeah.
Nathan. Another good Chris Keller moment.
The
Even
guitar
though
that
Even though
the
it's his
guitar that
fault.
he named Haley James.
I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Like, you named your guitar after my wife?
Oh my god.
I forgot about that too. Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Eve?
Number 6.
Yep.
My number 6 is when Haley went into labor in the middle of her valedictorian speech.
Yeah.
And she just stops and says, "I'm sorry, I have more, but I think I'm having my baby," which is a
Yeah.
very calm way for a 17-year-old to say that she's in labor, to be honest. And then Nathan just like pops right up.
I like
His
his little head.
face.
Just
Yeah.
pops up.
Yeah.
He just stands up and looks at her. It was
Yep.
sweet, but
I watched that one yesterday.
I love it.
It's fresh.
That's fun.
All right, Tiffany, what's your number 6?
When I can't remember when it was. I just remember the lines they said. It was with Nathan and Haley. When she says, "I'm in love with you. It's nice after all this time." And he says, "It's everything after all this time." I can't remember when that was, but I really like those lines.
Sounds really familiar.
it sounds familiar. Yeah.
But I can't place it either.
I'm thinking it was season 8 or 9, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. Oh, they have so many good like lines between the two of them though. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean like they're the best.
All right,
Yeah.
Shelby, number 5.
Number 5, I just wrote down the lines because like Tiffany, I remember them, but I don't remember the context. But Nathan's lines was, "I promise you, Haley, I will always be there for you. I will always protect you."
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't remember, like I know that they were fighting, but I don't remember what the context was, what they were fighting about, or anything like that. It was just one thing that stuck with me.
Yeah. I don't remember where that is either. It's
Time
decided.
for a whole rewatch.
I've got to do a rewatch
I know.
because I'm not remembering this, and I have to make myself. I have to resist getting to Julian and just watch it all.
Just
I
watch
don't know if
Getting-
I can do it.
Getting to Julian will be that much sweeter if you just, watch the other 5 seasons before that.
Trust
just
the
have to-
process.
Oh,
It all works out in the end. Don't
I
worry.
just miss his face when I start watching. No,
Then
that's
pull
not
a
what we're
picture
talking
up.
about tonight. That's
Put a
true.
picture of him on the corner of your TV and you'll be fine.
Maybe that's what I'll do. That's what I need to do. Yeah, because I forget the whole like Brooke and Chase relationship because I never get to see that. Never see it. I've seen it like maybe twice.
I forget about that
in like
every
the
time.
15 like rewatches I've done. I've seen it like twice because I never make it that far.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Same.
All right.
Where are we? Who are we on? Who just
I think
spoke?
it's your turn, Amanda. Number
Oh.
5.
Me.
Mhm.
Ooh. When he told Jamie that he made it to the NBA.
Aw.
Oh,
Whose moments did I steal?
It's not on my list.
it's not on mine either, and I'm surprised it's not.
I honestly, I don't have any Nathan and Jamie moments, but y'all have to forgive me. I mean, I literally did this an hour before we started. Okay, so I was doing more. I don't know. I just missed those, but I love that because I just love how they bring him in there and they're like, "Here, sit down and watch this," and he's not really wanting to,
Yep.
and he's even on. Isn't he on like his little his little Game Boy or whatever? it
Yeah, I
is,
think
and
he's
then
busy playing.
He
Yeah, and then
hears
Mouse-
like
Yeah, and then Mouse
Mhm.
says it, and it takes him like a couple seconds.
he's like,
I
"What?"
love
He
how
stands
Mouth
up,
directly
calls him out,
says
Jamie Scott. Yeah,
It's like, oh,
so sweet.
yes. I'm surprised
The
that
whole-
wasn't higher on my list. It should be higher.
Yeah. Well, just the whole Nathan getting into the NBA is just, I mean, it's the
Finally.
moment like we've all waited for, like not just him and Haley. I mean, we've all just been waiting for him to reach his dreams.
We're all very
Sweet.
committed.
Yeah.
All right, Jeanette, what was your number 5?
My number 5, it's sort of 2 moments, but it's all kind of in there together. It's at the Halloween party where he's dressed up as Batman.
Mm.
And so like the first moment is when everybody's kind of like, I can't remember who it is, but somebody's giving Haley a hard time. And she trips and falls in her high heels because she whole like Sandy from Grease get up. And he just swoops in that Batman costume looking so delicious. I mean,
Oh.
and he swoops her up in his arms and carries her out of there. Like, I mean, just saves her. I love it. And then kind of with that, in that same episode, when he like he tells Chris to like help her with her music because she's struggling. And I think that just takes so much character, considering the history, for him to like put his own feelings aside for what's best for her.
Very selfless.
And the two of them
Definitely.
were still really rocky at that point too. Like they were still
Yeah.
at
They
the
were still
point,
broken
like,
up, I think.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
not
he was-
together.
yeah, he was still at the point where he was barely like, I want to be friends with you.
Mhm.
Yeah. He was still kind of blocking her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Eve.
Okay, number 5, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast too, but it was when Nathan went to talk about, he went to that press conference to talk about where he was going to college. And then right in the middle of it, he said he was going to, like, where he goes to college will be with his family's best interest in mind,
Mhm.
because he and Haley just got into a fight and he learned, I think he just learned that she was pregnant and he just kind of stormed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which a part of me was like, Nathan, are you serious? Come on. And then they got to that press conference and I said,
Yeah.
okay, good. We're
He-
fine.
You're forgiven.
You're forgiven now. That was good enough.
Yeah.
That did it for me.
You made a public declaration that makes up
Yeah.
for it.
He was
For
really
sure.
into public declarations. Like that
He
was
was.
his
And
big
I
thing.
love that about him. I love it.
Oh yeah. All right. Tiffany. Number 5.
Mine was the same as Eve's.
Oh,
Oh,
do
okay.
you have an honorable mention you want to talk about?
The free throw when he's not looking, he
Mhm.
just kind of right into the hoop. Man, that was hot.
This
The one
was
right-
So
right
that's
behind
my,
Eve's
I
head?
mean, that's the one. I mean,
Yes.
it's my number 4, the next on my list. I mean, that moment. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Little smirk
That
on his
face.
face.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
I just want to pat it.
That's like my favorite like gift to use. Like One Tree Hill one is just that little like. I love it so much.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
me,
like I'm just staring at Eve a lot tonight.
right.
I know I need to scoop. I need to scroll over because Eve's the only person I can't see. But now I probably need to while we're talking about that moment.
I feel like that's for me, I feel like that's like one of the most classic Nathan moments. Like when you think of Nathan, like
Mhm.
this is one of the big scenes that come to mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That's
yeah.
one of his most famous.
I love it.
All right, Shelby. Number 4.
All right, so my number 4 is when this is kind of like an all three of them moment, but Jamie said something to Haley and Haley was like, Nathan, are you telling our son that I was a nerd or a geek or something like that? And Nathan's like, I can't lie to him, Hales.
I'm not gonna lie to the kid.
I'm not gonna lie to the kid.
I love it.
Yes.
That's so funny. I like that.
Like I
moment,
love
too.
you, but yeah, you were a nerd.
Mhm. Oh yeah. That's funny. I like that one.
I mean, they did meet because she was a nerd, so
Hmm. What's your number 4, Amanda?
Number 4, we already said it. So I'll give you an honorable mention.
what was your number 4?
My number 4 was the gambling boat with
Oh, okay.
Keller. My number. Okay, I'll give you one of my honorable mentions. I'm not going to call it my number 4 because it's not like a favorite Nathan moment, but it's a memorable Nathan moment when he goes to work with Skills' dad at that factory for that one day.
Oh yeah.
Just when he goes in and Haley's practicing her speech and he looks so pitiful and just like all dirty and just not like Nathan. And then he
Mhm.
just like slowly looks up while unlacing his boots and just, my
Yeah.
heart goes out to both of them because she like stops. She doesn't want to talk anymore.
Mhm.
Just
That
breaks
was-
my heart.
That was terrible.
Oh. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's not wrong working in a factory. I mean, like
No.
you said, it's good money, but it just, at
That was
that,
never his plan.
yeah. And
Right.
that, and you know, in that moment, it's like, his dreams going away. And so it's just, it's such a sad moment.
Yeah.
And I think it was right after that that Haley went to Whitey for help.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's how Whitey ended up working for what, probably, was that 3 or 4 more years?
Yeah.
I think it was a year
Yeah.
or two more.
Was he, I don't, because it wasn't all 4 years, right?
No, I think it was a community college.
So that's right. Maybe.
No,
don't
'cause
remember.
they came back in 4 years.
Yeah.
They jumped 4 years because Jamie's 4
Mhm.
when they come back in season 5.
Yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
it's a regular college. I don't know.
it was I think it was a community college, and then he went to University of Maryland, I think.
Gosh,
Why
this is
don't
why
I
I'm
remember
rewatching right
this?
now. It's
I
because I'm
know.
forgetting all these details.
All of our listeners are going to be like, y'all are
You still
idiots.
do
Why don't you
not know
remember
what you
this?
I swear,
And
guys,
call
we just
yourselves
have
fans.
13 groups. We watch a lot of TV.
It's hard to keep up.
It is. It is.
Go on
Oh.
ever. You can look at our group. We know our stuff. I swear.
It
It's also late at night, so
is.
that's our
Forgive
that's
us,
my
please.
excuse.
Yeah.
I'm all hyped up on black tea, so
Oh.
the non decaf kind.
All
All right.
right.
Raise your hand.
What?
Whose turn is it?
It's fine.
Oh,
We've already said my number 4. My number 4 is the free throw that's pictured behind Dee's head. Of course, our listeners can't see that, but we've already talked about it. I didn't list any honorable mentions, but I can name another one that I am thinking of right now. When Nathan, and I don't remember all the details of it. I just remember when Nathan and Haley are separated, and I can't remember why she goes to see him at when he's back living with Dan, but she's there talking to him. She's trying to kind of win him back, and then she gets ready to leave, and he asks her to stay, and then she kind of just runs into his arms, and oh my gosh, it's so sweet. And then also, like, after they make up somewhat, she sees that he has his wedding ring on his necklace, or on his necklace, and so I like that, because I mean, it just shows that even though they were apart, like, he was still committed to her and still loved her.
yeah. He never stopped loving her.
Never.
He was just being stubborn.
I know.
He was just mad.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, she
Yeah,
messed up,
that's-
so
I know. I couldn't wait for them to get back together, though.
I skip those episodes sometimes too, because it just feels so wrong. I can't hardly stand it.
I know. All right, Eve.
Okay, number 4 for me was it's a Jamie moment. So it was shortly after Nathan was rescued in season 9, right after he got back home, and Jamie snuck out to go play basketball in the river court. And then he, Nathan finds him there, says, "Okay, what are you up to, weird son of mine?" or something like that. And Jamie was telling him about how everyone expects him to be good at basketball because Nathan was good at basketball. And then Nathan kind of breaks it down and says, you can basically, like, you can do whatever you want. You have to be a good man while you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever you do will support you. And I was like, that is just so completely not Dan.
I know.
It's
Right.
not even funny.
He
Yeah, I
liked,
mean,
he liked baseball, right?
Yeah, I think he asked me, "What do you like?" And he was like, "I like baseball." Yeah.
He was really into baseball, I think.
Mm-hmm. But he also obviously goes on to play basketball, because we see that in the final episode that Jamie's playing, because they all go to watch him.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
But he never forced him to do anything. Like, he never
Yeah.
even talked him into anything either.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
after all he went through with Dan,
Well,
he knew that wouldn't work.
Right.
He
love
learned
it.
he learned a lot from Dan as a father. He learned what not to do.
He did.
A
Yeah.
Yeah.
lot from Dan.
For as
Yeah.
young as he was when they had Jamie, and like the crappy life that he had with Dan, and even Deb too, because Deb
Mhm.
wasn't really around, and then she wasn't the model parent when she was. He
Right.
was a good
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Both of them are
For
just
sure.
the best parents. My gosh.
They really are.
They can raise me, that's fine.
Yeah. Right.
I'm all down for that. Live in that big old house, that nice pool,
The house is pretty too. I've seen that too.
calling Nathan daddy.
It's getting a
Amanda.
little weird now.
Not that we're
on
disagreeing with
topic.
you.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but it's getting a
I'm
little
just the
weird.
nanny. I'm just
Just taking a turn. Taking a
Just
that's
waiting
so
for
funny.
her
I
comment
was
to
waiting
pop
for
up.
Marie.
Said taking a turn, and
You're
here I
gonna be-
just said the same thing.
Crazy Nanny Amanda.
Nanny Amanda.
Yeah.
Fun
You can't
fact,
blame
I used to
Nanny
be. I
Carey.
was a nanny for 5 years, guys.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so there we go. It works.
Are you gonna be swimming naked in the pool?
No, I would never. I'm
That
watching
doesn't-
literally Nanny Carey's face is on my TV screen right now.
She's so scary. I hate her.
Yeah, she
I
is.
think Maureen is covering her ears right now, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure she is. That doesn't
It's
make
still
it less weird.
It's PG-13. I mean, we're not taking it further than that.
No.
We're allowed to have PG-13 content. It's best I can do.
I let my kids watch PG-13. It's okay.
I do too. Yeah, why not?
I'm like me.
I let Elena watch a little bit of One Tree Hill, and then I realized, okay, no, we're not ready for this. We need to give it a couple more years. It's too much. It's like, no.
My kid's watching Big Bang Theory right now.
That's a good one.
Just did a rewatch of that. Sorry.
That's another show I'm always going to
Uh.
rewatch. That's one that just plays over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
The
Love that
Office, Friends, those shows just play over and over and over. All right,
Where
who are
are
we
we?
on?
I think it's Tiffany now.
Tiffany, have you said your number 4?
No. Sorry.
No.
Hold on. My laptop is dying and I'm clicking all sorts of things trying to plug it in.
Oh,
What number are we on?
number 4.
4. Okay. No, we did my number 4. Let me think of one of my moments. I know I had another one. Oh, I like when it was they're still in high school and he goes up to Haley and says, I think I need a tutor. I'm failing marriage. She says, and he tried sleeping with the teacher. I love their little banter back and forth. It's
They
so
have-
cute.
They have the best banter. It's
Oh, yeah.
really cute. Yeah,
I like theirs.
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Shelby, number 3.
Number 3.
That was weird.
So y'all said my top 3, but I have 2 honorable mentions. So one of them is when Nathan was cheating or accused of cheating, and like he swore up and down that he didn't, and like Haley kind of believed him, I think, but like
Mhm.
she didn't really want to believe him, and like he like swore up and down that he didn't do it. Like he was like trying to be like the most amazing husband until like he got proven that he wasn't. It was
Mhm.
just like all those moments, like he knew deep in his heart that he didn't do it, but this woman was
Yeah.
basically lying on him, and he
Oh.
was trying to do everything that he could to make Haley believe that he was telling the truth.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I think in this series, I always get mad at one of the main characters for a period of time. I'm coming to
Yeah.
a conclusion about.
Who were you mad
I
at
mean,
during
I
this
got-
period of time?
Haley.
I was a little, but at the same time, I mean, the girl was good at her story, and when she
I
told her to
know.
look up the phone number, and the phone number really was on his like cell phone bill. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't want to have doubts, but I feel like, I mean, all of the evidence was just right there in front. I mean, I don't know. It was giving her doubts, and I can understand where she
I
came
know.
from. You know,
Did they ever
It's like, I
explain the
get
phone
it,
number
but-
thing?
I feel like he. Well, I can't remember.
I can't remember if they explained that or not.
I feel like they do, but I don't remember what the explanation was.
I think he glazed over it and said, "Do you know how many girls like get my number and try to call me or something like that?" And that was
Yeah.
it. I was like, Nathan, that seems a little shady. I
Yeah.
mean,
but
he's
that's true
accusing you of
too.
having a relationship
Mhm.
with you.
He's a
Yeah,
basketball star. I'm sure he does get a lot of girls.
yeah, and he was really
Yeah.
drunk that night.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, but he still was faithful. So
He's always faithful
always,
to Haley. Oh my gosh.
always and forever.
Yes, the Michelsons. Where my mind goes, it's gonna keep going.
I know.
Shelby,
She just did
That
hers.
was mine.
you just did yours, so it's my
It's
turn.
your turn. Mhm.
I wrote down my moment and I don't remember my moment. I'm blanking.
What did you write down? Maybe we can help you.
When he stands up to Dan for Lucas.
For Lucas.
It was the
Stands
scene
up
I
to-
watched.
Hmm.
What am I talking about?
I can't help you.
All right, guys. Well, whenever Nathan stands up to Dan for Lucas, I guess
Do you
that's
want to
gonna
look
be
into that and we'll circle back to you when you remember?
what in the world
I can go next if you want to.
talking about?
Okay, so my number 3 is when it's one of the rain kisses. It's the second rain kiss, but it's more about the moment that I love is why he runs out into the rain to get that box of the newspaper clippings that he shows where he like saved them while Haley was on tour. And this is, during when they're not even together. I mean, and he still was following her and he was really proud of her. And I just think it's really sweet that they go out there and they all start blowing away. And that's when we have our kiss in the middle of the hurricane, which, like you said, is not nearly as romantic as it appears on screen, but it's one of my favorites.
It was one of Nathan's punching moments. I know that.
That really narrows it down to almost every episode.
I know. I can see it in my head. And I can't even find it. They're standing outside
Okay.
next to like the car, I think. Yeah, they're like standing outside and they say something and my goodness. Guys, come on. You guys know the show as much as I do. What am I talking about here?
I'm sorry. I wish I could help you. I'm trying.
I'm
to
afraid I
think,
don't.
but
I'm afraid I don't speak Amanda. That's the problem.
It's something. Dan does something to Lucas and Nathan gets mad and punches him.
I mean, I believe it. Enough with the Coke, Amanda.
Drinking tea. I have no excuses right now, to be honest. None.
do you have another honorable mention that we can throw in place of this one?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's kind of like we've already done it. Yeah, I do. I have a bunch of honorable mentions.
Maybe just grab one of those.
I'm working my way through them.
Poor Amanda.
When I can't even say it, guys.
Oh no, say it. Now I have to hear it. What is
We
it?
have to know now that you can't say it.
Just type it and I'll read it out loud then.
It's not coming out. When Nathan confronts Dan.
About what?
Oh my gosh. It's just like both of my moments right now are just like Nathan punching Dan out. Okay. When Nathan confronts Dan about killing Keith on graduation day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it out. Okay.
You did it. Good job.
So yeah, when he walks into Dan's house on graduation day, or was it the day before graduation day, or was it graduation day?
It was right around that time.
I think it was actually graduation day.
I know
Yeah.
it was right before.
It was either the day
Katie
before
was
or that
born.
day because Karen was already in the Shelby. Karen was already in the hospital.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it might have been graduation. I wrote down graduation day, so I'm thinking it's graduation day because I was actually watching the show as I was doing these.
Yeah.
So
I wish I could help you. Like
seeing him finally, like, I feel like he always still kind of tried to protect Dan in a way until that moment. Like he couldn't believe I mean, I don't think anybody would believe your dad killed your uncle.
No, I mean
that's really hard to believe, but just him like having, I was about to cuss, giving no craps about walking into Dan's house and just totally confronting him. Like I would not have the bravery of doing that.
Yeah.
When I just found out you killed somebody and then I'm going to walk into your house and confront you about killing somebody.
Yeah.
Like
that was rough. Especially when you blamed it on your friend, who got so much backlash for that. Like,
I hate Dan. Y'all know this.
Good thing the dog ate his heart.
One of my favorite moments. We know that.
Your sweet revenge.
That was my number 10 favorite moment.
Mine too.
Throwback. All right, Jeanette. Can you do a better number 3 than me?
I talked about mine with the newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I was listening to you. I was just trying to read at the same time.
You're good. So what about Eve? What's your number 3?
Number 3?
My number 3 was the very first basketball game that Nathan, Skills, and Lucas coached. That was a pretty good team. It's like, wow, if this team doesn't win any games, it's like all their fault because they have like 3 really awesome coaches. But anyway, it was after that first game, and I don't remember the context, but Nathan and Lucas were talking about Dan, and Nathan said something about how like he owes it to his son to not have anything to do with Dan because he needs to be better for Jamie. And then he and Jamie are holding hands and they walk out of the gym.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just, I don't know. I think it's really cute.
Yeah. No,
and
I
also
agree.
Jamie is such a tiny little thing and he's just so adorable. I'm like, any scene with Jamie just makes me go, oh.
Yeah. He's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Tiffany, what was your number 3?
Mine was similar to the moments with Jamie, but I also like the moments he had with Lydia. Like the moment in the pool when he tells her that she's not leaving the house till she's 30 or 40.
Oh, yeah.
Just the little father-daughter moments are cute.
Yeah.
I love those. All right, Shelby, number 2.
Okay, so like I said, you guys already did my top 3, but another honorable mention was when Skills and Nathan were talking about Deb, when Skills mentions about meeting the woman online, and like he was talking about her and stuff, and Nathan didn't realize that it was Deb. I just thought that was hilarious.
Like, is she satisfied?
Yeah, because I mean, just the discussion, it's so inappropriate. Like the fact that it's his mom, but he just doesn't know that it's his mom. Like
I cringe every
it
time.
would have been like completely yucky if he would have known that it was his mom, but like otherwise it was just like boy talk basically.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh man.
Like that.
Oh, me.
Your turn.
Well, my number 2 was running back into the school for Haley, but we've already said that one. But one of my other honorable mentions is when him and Tim dressed up as the Girl Scouts.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as you said him and Tim. Oh my gosh.
It had to be on the list. It just had to be.
Yeah.
Just seeing, and there's really, I mean, it's like funny and whatever, but my favorite is just seeing them, not just Nathan, but Nathan and Tim both in those Girl Scout uniforms.
Yeah.
That was that dare night, I think, right?
That's
one of my favorite episodes, the Love Dare Night.
Yes, I do too.
That scene is really sweet too, though, with like poor Tim, because isn't that when he tells him that he's kind of like sad because now that he's with Haley, he spends all of his time with her, and Tim's feeling left out. Like he didn't even get an invitation to dare night; he just joined because he wanted to have fun.
Yeah, and then I said, "Oh, dang it! Now I have to feel bad for Tim."
Yeah. I mean, Tim's obnoxious, but he's not a bad guy. I liked him.
He's not a terrible person. He's just Tim. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, Tim is one of those. I feel like he represents the typical teenage boy better than any of them. Just completely awkward and obnoxious, and
oh yeah. And can we
just
mention who he ends up having a baby with? I mean, how perfect is that?
I know.
I felt so bad for that kid because I saw that picture. I was like, oh my goodness, that kid is so ugly.
I never even thought about the fact, and that means that because Skills and Bevan get back together, so Skills is like a stepdaddy to Tim's kid, basically. Like, never thought about that until we're just saying that out loud.
Yep.
But yep.
Yes. So. All right, Jeanette.
My number 2 is their first, Kim and Haley's first kiss in the rain, which we've kind of talked about a little bit, their rain kisses, but
that first one was just.
That first one is so sweet because, I mean, he almost looks surprised at himself that he did it. I don't know. It's just, I love it. Just the look on his face, and the whole scene is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eve, number 2.
Number 2. So number 2 was back when Nathan was still in the wheelchair. So beginning of season 5, where he was in a really dark place. And before I go into my moment, I just want to mention that when season 5 started and we saw Nathan in the wheelchair and he was, drinking and, he was just basically depressed. I was like, this isn't Nathan. What the heck happened here? Yeah. And so my moment was when he wheels up to the pool and he just wheels his chair right into the pool. And then he stands up and I think he says something like, I'm Nathan Scott and I'm not giving up yet, or something like that. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, there he is. There's Nathan.
Yeah.
This show really is good about that you feel like you're really a part of their lives.
Yeah, because I was like
Gilmore Girls did the same thing where you just get enthralled into their lives and you're like, you care about the actual characters.
Yeah, I was really upset because I was like, they need to find a way to fix this because they can't do this to Nathan.
No.
It's like, he's come too far. They need to fix this.
Yeah. I don't like I skipped 3 episodes today because I didn't want to spend time watching Nathan in the wheelchair.
I don't like that either. Yeah.
Now that I've seen the series so many times, then I'm allowed to skip around.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yep. Maureen's right. We own these characters now. They're ours. All right.
Tiffany.
Raise your hand. Whose turn is it?
I think it's Tiffany.
Tiffany, number 2.
I already did my number 2 too. Also, I had so many of the same ones as everybody else. I'm trying to think if I can think of another moment.
What about when he took the drugs and then he spent the night at Haley's? That's a good one to talk about.
Are you assigning favorite scenes?
I'm just throwing moments.
It's like, how about this one?
This is going to be your moment.
That's a good one, though.
Mentions here.
You can do one of yours.
If you thought about one, go for it.
I just like when after he was kidnapped, actually kidnapped.
Actually kidnapped this time.
Yeah, when he was actually kidnapped this time.
When he's
not
kidnapped for real.
Not like before,
really
when he was just in his underwear. Yeah, and he says, "Hey, Hales," and she's like, "Say it again."
Yeah,
that was just the sweetest moment.
One of the best scenes.
Definitely. I love that one. Sometimes I watch just a YouTube clip of him saying, "Hey, Hells."
Yep, I did yesterday.
Maybe that's a little embarrassing. Okay, good. I'm glad that you do too. 'Cause I'm like, that sounds a
Well,
little
I was also working
embarrassing,
on
but
this list.
Yeah.
I did not put that on my list because I figured it was like on everybody else's.
I didn't put it
I-
on mine because I thought it
I
was on
did
everybody
the-
else's too.
I did the same thing.
So here we all excluded it because we thought it would be on everybody else's.
So don't exclude anything, no matter what.
Right?
That's true. Just have a lot of honorable mentions.
I know. And normally I do. I'm just on a time crunch. I don't have them this time.
That's why I just started watching the show so I can just start.
Yeah.
All right, Shelby. Number one moment.
My number one was giving the bracelet to Haley, and we already talked about that.
Okay. My number one was. Ooh. It's like I get surprised by my own number.
She's like, oh yeah.
So proud of myself that like my number
Like,
one.
ooh, that's a
nobody's
good
mentioned
one,
yet.
Amanda. Okay.
I know. I'm that good.
When you get to saying it.
And you guys are gonna be like, oh yeah, that was a good one. Very good
Let's-
job, Amanda. Watch.
I need to hear it now.
All right.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
I can't do it.
You guys suck, man. All
Sorry.
right. Nathan admitting that he kept track of Haley on tour. And then that kiss on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's a good one. That was my
Like
number
that.
3. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
didn't mention the kiss on the hood of the car.
Well, no, I didn't say it was on the hood of the car. So you're right. You're
You
right.
gotta picture it in your head. That's my favorite part. My gosh.
That is a good part. Yeah. Very
All right.
good, Amanda. That
I
was
know.
wonderful.
I know.
You did it.
My whole joke was that you already said it. You get that right? Did that joke go over?
I
everybody's head?
did. It went over my head completely. I was like, was she really not paying attention when I was saying all this? Like, dang. She was over there Googling her own stuff. No.
No. Messing with you. No, that was actually my number one though.
That's a good one. My number one's been mentioned too. It's the bracelet.
Oh, twinsies.
Yay. What about you, Eve? Have we talked about your number one?
No, my number one was right before Dan died, when he and Nathan finally like made that peace, when they were playing basketball in the river court and like they were talking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Nathan asked him why he killed Keith, like what happened. And I
Mhm.
felt like it was the very first time that we ever saw Dan being genuine.
Mhm.
And like he talked about how he was in a dark place, and when he heard
Yeah.
Keith talking to Jimmy about how you know, things get better, and he felt like Keith was talking to him and he didn't think things would get better.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they played a game of basketball and he said, let's not keep score.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, Dan can be redeemed now. He's good.
Eh.
How
I
did not
know,
think of
I
that
know how you
moment?
feel. I know how you feel, Amanda, but I don't care. That's my number one. I'm sticking with it. Don't give me any new ideas.
I fully support it, Eve.
You can have it. I'll give it to you. I didn't always hate Dan. He had his moments. All right. Tiffany?
Mine was, well, you had him telling Jamie about the NBA earlier, and mine was him giving up the NBA.
Oh,
Mm. Yeah. That's good too.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
My-
Nathan's so awesome.
Did everybody finish the number ones?
Yeah, I think we've said them all.
All right. So, as most of you guys know, we do have a Facebook group. It's One Tree Hill Scott Family Fan Club. And we asked the group for some of their favorite Nathan moments. And we're going to get to those now. And I'll be reading them, because unless somebody else has a computer open in front of them and they want to share.
I don't.
All right. We
Sorry.
have Katie, who said when he showed up for Jamie after the soapbox car race and rode down the hill with him in his wheelchair in the dark because Jamie was scared.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a very good
didn't
one.
think
And I'm
about
really
that at all.
surprised none of us had that.
Yeah. Good job, Katie.
This is why we needed members to give us their moments.
Yes. All right. And from Crystal, we have I love Nathan and Lucas are protective of their women and family.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to say Shelby, but you're here. I don't have to say what you said. All right. And then we actually have our new admin, Patty.
Oh, awesome.
All right. And she says, I love when Nathan says, lose her. She's right there. I'm never letting go of her. That's a good line, he says.
That is a good line.
He's
He's got some of the best.
He does. All right. That's all we got from the group.
Awesome.
All right. Does anybody have any honorable mentions they want to discuss?
I have an honorable mention I really wanted to mention.
What is it?
I don't remember what season it was, but it was after Brooke was attacked in her store.
Yeah.
And it was also right after Q died. And I think that kind of just piled on to her, to all of her anxiety that was going on. And Nathan could tell something was not quite right with her.
Mm-hmm.
Went over to her house and said, just so you know, we are all here for you.
Yeah.
Which I thought was big because Brooke and Nathan, like way back in the day, like they were not like, I mean, they were barely friends. Like they were in the same circle, but they were barely friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I like that scene too. And I wish, I mean, it was such a good scene that I wish we had more like Brooke and Nathan moments, to be honest. Like, because I felt like they seem like they could have had some really good friendship moments, and we never got to see that.
I love the Nathan and Peyton moments that we get to see after the break, like, after they've matured and grown up.
Yeah, I agree.
I like their bickering kind of back and forth, and they love each other so much as friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Is that all we got tonight, guys?
I think so. All right. So I think that does it for our top 10 Nathan moments. Let us know if there's any that we forgot. And we'd love to get your feedback on this episode, upcoming episodes. If there's something that you'd like to see from us, make sure to let us know. You can email us at familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Family Fan Clubs. And also make sure to check out our Facebook group. It's One Tree Hill Scott Family Fan Club. Make sure you rate us, tell your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. You can join us again on Sunday. We're going to be discussing Bridgerton episodes 3 and 4, and then we'll be back again on Wednesday for a Schitt's Creek discussion. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.